Welcome to That's My Story on YouTube.com. I'm your host, Nathaniel Zukowski, and this is the inaugural edition. If you want to get in touch with me and thoughts on anything that I say throughout any episode, you can reach me at scarletandgray18 at gmail.com. You can also get a hold of me at text 614-905-9159. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get down to business. Today's topic is on Larry Dolan and his ownership of the Cleveland Indians. Now, Larry Dolan took over the ownership of the Cleveland Indians in the year 2000 and has promptly, in 9 seasons, taken this franchise into the dirt. The Indians just concluded their season at 65-97, tied for last in the Central with the lowly Kansas City Royals, and also fourth worst record in the league. Couple of thoughts that I have on Larry Dolan. And make no mistake about it, Cleveland Indians fans, Larry Dolan is the problem to this baseball team. It's not Mark Shapiro, the GM. The general manager of this baseball team is not the problem. Eric Wedge, who was relieved of his duties a few games before this season ended, and now the Indians are looking for a manager, he wasn't the problem. They may have been the problem organizationally speaking as far as what play happened on the field, but do you really expect a different result from this baseball team if they get a new manager? I don't. Replacing Mark Shapiro, if they happen to do that, which they won't, and I'll tell you why later, wouldn't change anything on this baseball team. The problem is at the top. It's with Larry Dolan, and it always has been. You're looking at a franchise and an owner that is not paying the money. Bottom line, they're not paying the money. The payroll, an expensive payroll for the Cleveland Indians, was around $75 million. When you look conversely at the New York Yankees, who are spending over $200 million, the Boston Red Sox, who spend around $180, and right on down the line, you're looking at a team that cannot compete financially on the field under this ownership. It's time for a change with the Cleveland Indians and the ownership. And until that change happens, and until Larry Dolan sells this baseball team, you're going to continue to see what you've seen on the field recently from the Indians. Yeah, they can keep bringing in talent, prospects, that's what you keep hearing, prospects. And then when these prospects happen to hit major league success, the same thing's going to happen that happened to CC Sabathia, that happened to Cliff Lee, that happened to Ryan Garko, and right on down the line, they're going to sell them off to a contender. Because the Cleveland Indians cannot afford any of these players. And that is the bottom line. You can change Mark Shapiro. You can bring in a new general manager. You can bring in a new manager of this baseball team. But it's not going to change the fact that financially this team cannot compete. And the thing that I find the most interesting and the thing that I get the most laugh out of is that the reasoning behind Larry Dolan and his ideas of how he should operate this business. Because make no mistake about it, to you fans, the Cleveland Indians are entertainment. To me, the Cleveland Indians are entertainment. But to Larry Dolan, this is a business. To Larry Dolan, this is a business. And he's out to make money. And as a businessman, I see no problem with him seeking out to make a profit out of the team. The problem is with his business strategy and how that works. Because see, his philosophy is backwards. It's completely backwards. Business breaks down to fundamentally, you spend money to make money. When you invest money into the stock market with the hope that the future is going to bring back a greater return on the money you spent. Now, sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. But regardless, you have to spend money to make money. You have to put yourself into debt a lot of times to be able to make profit in the future. And then you build from there. Larry Dolan, I have no idea how he is a successful businessman. Because see, what he's done is that he's asked you and I, the sports fans, to invest in a losing product. He has not put a winning product on the field. And then he contends that he cannot put a winning product on the field because you and I don't show up. to the ball games to support a team that finishes 65 and 97, dead last, and one of the worst records in the league. Larry Dolan's philosophy since he's been here has been, okay, here's what I want you to do, Cleveland sports fans. I want you to go out and support a losing product. I'm going to put a loser on the field for you. I'm going to give you a big giant turd burger. I want you to eat the turd burger for 2 or 3 years and line my pockets up with money. And if you support the turd burger and you choke down the turd burger for 3-4 years, then after I've made a profit, I will put out a good product on the field in good faith to you. But see, my question to that, Larry Dolan, would be, when have you ever been a man of your word? Because we've heard this before. The problem is that we've heard this before, Cleveland sports fans. We've heard all of these promises of a contender on the field. That's why they dismantled a team that won the playoffs in 2000, or not won the playoffs, was in the playoffs in 2001. They dismantled that team, saying the team could no longer go any further. They had hit their wall. Now, whether that's true or not, we'll never know, because they got rid of that team. The point I'm making is that they dismantled that team, a successful winning team, the team at the latter end of its success, sold off all the pieces and parts, and got prospects, and told the fans, I want you to come out to the ballpark. I want you to continue to support this team, even though there's no familiar names that you know. And we want you to support, we want you to buy hot dogs, and we want you to do all of these things, even though there's no name on the field that you recognize anymore. And granted, there are talented stars that came out of that. You had Cliff Lee, you had CC Sabathia, you had Grady Sizemore. Well, the problem is that when it didn't pan out, and this team wasn't able to put it together any kind of success on a routine basis, nobody showed up. And they started STO, the Sports Time Ohio, the Cleveland Indians Sports Network, and they said, you know what, we're going to start this. And we're starting this because we want the fans to be a part of Cleveland Indians baseball. We want people to support this, and that's going to bring more money into our pockets, and that'll make us more viable to compete with the Red Sox and the Yankees. Where is that competitiveness? Because now it's time for you to pay up to your word, Larry Dolan. And there's still a turd burger on the field. This team's a disaster. There's no pitching. There's no consistent hitting of any kind. You've sold off essentially your last 2 Cy Young Award winners, which before that you hadn't had a Cy Young Award winner since the 70s with Gaylord Perry. Then you have back-to-back Cy Young Award winners. You sold them off for nothing. Matt Laporta and some guys from the Phillies that you have no idea whether they're going to pan out. You didn't even get prime 1, 2, 3, or 4 prospects, because guess what, folks? They were going to cost more money. They basically gave these guys away because they couldn't pay them, even though you gave us the promise of STO. You gave us the promise of Progressive Field, and this was going to make us viable within the Major League market. We were going to become a competitive baseball team, and a baseball team that was going to keep guys like CC Sabathia and Cliff Lee and make us long-term winners. It's the same thing that happens in Pittsburgh, it's happened in KC, and now guess what, folks? It's happening in Cleveland. Until Larry Dolan sells this team, he's going to continue to sell us a turd burger. A good businessman puts steak on the field. Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, puts steak on the court. He gives you the best product possible. And that gets the fans to come out. And the Cleveland Cavaliers make money. Larry Dolan doesn't understand this. He wants to sell you a big giant turd burger, and he wants you to choke it down, and maybe, if we choke it down long enough, he'll give us the gift of a productive baseball team on the field, a winning product. Well, I'm not buying your brand, Larry Dolan. I'm not buying it, and nobody else should be either. Until he sells this baseball team, it doesn't matter what they do at general manager. It doesn't matter what they do at manager. This team's hopeless, and it's hard to come out to the ballpark and watch a product that finishes 65 and 97, worst in the Central, along with the Kansas City Royals, and is 4th worst in the league. ScarletandGray18 at gmail.com, 614-905-9159. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.